Hey everybody, it's Chris Shubert from CNSG here with a SaaS spotlight with our friends at AppSmart. Join me today is Nick Collins from AppSmart. Nick, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at AppSmart.
Thanks, Chris. My name is Nick Collins. I'm the National Channel Manager at AppSmart for the SaaS portfolio. I do have quite of a development on my upper lip here, so I appreciate you pointing that out.
That's what we're here for at CNSG, is we build relationships and we have fun with each other.
We're genuine, exactly. So I work on helping partners discover the solutions that we have in our portfolio. It is immense. It's hard to discern and sift through as you're having conversations with your partners. I'm there to kind of sit side by side with everybody that we work with to know what is the best fit based on the customer objective or the business outcome that they're looking to achieve.
Awesome. So folks, obviously this is the first time we've done a real joint presentation together, and it is the beginning of something you're going to see very regularly from us as we really kind of dive into the role of SaaS in the technology advisor community today. So let's get right to it with our opening session here is, why should partners care? So obviously within both of our combined AppSmart and CNSG communities, we've got a lot of technology advisors that are working with their customers today on all types of connectivity, unified communications, customer experience, mobility, et cetera. And they may or may not necessarily always think of adding SaaS into that mix. So Nick, tell us a little bit today about where a partner might be missing the boat if they're not talking SaaS, software as a service, for anyone who hasn't caught that acronym yet, and how AppSmart can help.
I think that's a great question, and thanks for pointing that out. And I do believe that a lot of the partners, a lot of the individuals and business owners in our industry are ignoring a huge factor for new revenue, new vertical within their business to transform as we go into the next 10 years of the technology market. And
right.
I think it really breaks down to the stickiness of the customer, the ability to generate revenue on a per user basis as a company scales, and the ability to differentiate what you're selling now in the telco, SD-WAN, connectivity, UCaaS, CCaaS environment, that once you sell it, as the company scales, how does that compare to when you have a scaled software environment and you're diving deep into that customer, selling per user software solutions out of the AppSmart portfolio? The short to the long here is that there is more money in software. When a company starts to scale, and when you compare that, not to say that there's CCaaS and UCaaS compensation that is very high and great, but when you start to see a company scale on a per user basis and they hire 10, they open up a new location here, they open up a global location, the amount of money that you're going to make as they scale their user base is exponential in accordance to what you may sell to them in the connectivity and typical telco space that you've been working in. And I am typically breaking that down with every single partner conversation that I have so that they're able to measure it, understand it, and become motivated to start going after that business, because it does take an intentional thought process, asking a few different extra questions to start opening up that door. But once that door is open, there is a plethora of business that what I think partners must understand is that if you open up that door first in your conversations, the connectivity and telco and the conversations that you already are an expert in, they are the byproduct. And the software now is your entry. It's the intriguing engagement point that customers are looking for your advice as a trusted technology advisor. You'll get all of the rest of the business as an ancillary option.
Well, I think that's an excellent point, because one thing that everyone knows I've been preaching for years, especially when we approach a customer for a complete technology strategy, is it all starts with the application. The application is generally what drives the choice of the UCaaS provider. It's the one that drives what type of SD-WAN we implement, obviously what types of bandwidth we sell. Now, our partners are obviously used to the idea of a portfolio because they They always come in, they represent themselves as agnostic advisors, and they have access to all the largest LECs, cable MSOs, and competitive carriers. We're dealing with AppSmart, and you mentioned the portfolio. It's not like many folks where it's one, it's not just Office 365, or it's not just one application. We've got a lot of different offerings available, right?
It's immense. It's taken me a significant amount of time to become apprised. We're constantly adding new vendors to make it so that a lot of what your customers might have been going direct to these vendors to buy,
Mm-hmm.
and you were not able to be compensated or be able to be to represent those certain software solutions, you now can through AppSmart. We're talking over or up to 100 different individual vendors with above 500 different license versions across those vendors. So the answer is yes. The portfolio is massive, and you do not have to say no to the majority of inquiries that you get from your customers.
And one other thing that I've found very interesting as my world has been open to this is, you mentioned there's, 100 plus vendors, but there's 500 different versions. Because as you just think of yourself when you go out and look at, go to a software section at your local store, you see 14 different versions of Windows or 10 different versions of Office or whatnot. You have access to all of those via AppSmart. And then most of those are available as either kind of a license only unmanaged version. But then we also have Buy AppSmart, which is a completely managed version. How does that work?
That's a great question. Thanks for pointing that out. Well, at AppSmart, you're able to sell both. So
Mm-hmm.
first off, you are able to sell the same license-only version that your customer is potentially, for example, Microsoft. They're going to go to a Microsoft website. They're going to see pricing. They can access that exact same pricing through AppSmart. If the customer just wants to migrate their licenses over underneath AppSmart for the purpose of our platform, they can do that. But when it comes to a customer who has a software need like Microsoft or Google or whatever it may be, and they need a team that can step behind them with tier 1, tier 2 support, quarterly operational guidance in reference to that particular solution. That is the Buy AppSmart niche. And you will see, if you browse our products, there is a license only, and there's a Buy AppSmart version of that provider or license. We're going to step behind that. We're going to run a deployment call. We're going to make sure that they understand configurations, integrations, like you were saying, that are key with software into a network aspect. And we're going to white glove that deployment for that customer when they go through the Buy AppSmart license version, so that they get that experience with that particular software or vendor that makes it so that they want to keep coming back and that they maintain that stickiness and that they get their ROI and, most importantly, user adoption. That is why we have the niche. That is the value, is that we're finding that users, especially in the remote workforce, have a hard time adopting and working with all the crazy functionalities within all of these software solutions. We're that back-end support and training mechanism that gets them up to speed.
So we've covered a little bit today the idea of software as a service being something that partners need to chat about. It helps to drive the sales that they're used to. And obviously there's a huge portfolio, all different types of software, different services and needs, and we're going to be touching on several of those in the weeks to come in this series. But we've also made mention of why AppSmart. AppSmart obviously has no option to just buy that software, but you also have the option for that fully managed white glove. I know that's kind of a cliche anymore, but the idea of having something that really takes care of all of those different software pieces. The last thing I want to touch on today that I think is quite fascinating is we have the ability to where you've got 17 different apps that you're buying from AppSmart, but you're actually not getting 17 bills, are you?
No, you're not. I think, and that speaks to our platform. What is our offering behind the fact that we can open up the door for your business to sell through a lot of different software applications? That's great, right? But really, one of the strongest value propositions at AppSmart is the technology platform to manage, deploy, and actively engage with those software applications. It doesn't matter if they have 30, if they have 80, or if they have 3. They can put what they've purchased through AppSmart into one window pane, manage it out of that one window pane, they'll get one consolidated bill for all of those applications that previously they might have been getting 3, 4, up to 10 different bills. So they can put all of those tiles of applications into one place, get one bill, and lastly, call one team for support for all of those applications and any troubleshooting needs.
So basically, if I'm an IT decision maker, that sounds like a pretty smart idea.
It is. Pardon the pun.
Hey, when I'm rocking somebody who's got a mustache like that, I got to go with some cheesy lines and have some fun. Well, hey, Nick, thanks for joining me today. Nick and I are going to be back periodically to share these stories with the combined community. Software as a service is absolutely positively something that you need to not only learn about, but figure out how to bring that into your consultative approach. It's a revenue generator. It controls the discussion because now you're driving the application as well as all those fun things that ride on top of it. And you're giving your customer a great experience, whether managed or unmanaged. One bill, one name to call, one back to pat, as we lovingly say. Nick, thanks for joining me today. We'll be back next time with another SaaS Spotlight.